Hi, my name's Claire Siddons and I'm with David Birrell from the Australian Steel Association to talk about the recently released Productivity Commission report on Australia's anti-dumping and countervailing system. Firstly, it's a long title. What exactly does the anti-dumping and countervailing system report involve?
Australia's anti-dumping system is based on internationally agreed rules and procedures under the auspices of the World Trade Organisation, or WTO. China was the last country admitted to the WTO, which has 150 member countries, with Russia likely to be the next country admitted. In terms of competition policy, the Australian anti-dumping system is regarded by the ASA and others as to be anti-competitive. The Council of Australian Governments, or COAG, decided a review of the Australian system was a priority, and Chris Bowen, the Minister for Competition Policy and Consumer Affairs in the Rudd government, finally sent a reference to the Productivity Commission on the 26th of March 2009. The anti-dumping agreement permits WTO member countries to take remedial actions against imports that cause material injury to a domestic company. The critical consideration is material injury, but Australian legislation has no definition of material injury, and Australian authorities tend to focus on only one part of the equation, namely if the goods are dumped. Dumping is said to occur when an overseas supplier exports goods to Australia at a price that is below its normal value in the supplier's home market. If dumping causes or threatens to cause material injury to a local producer of the goods, then special customs duties can be applied against the imported goods.
What's been the ASA's involvement in the Productivity Commission's report?
An ASA task force has been actively involved with submissions and presentations to the Productivity Commission, its inquiry process. The Productivity Commission is the Australian Government's independent research and advisory body on a range of economic, social and environmental issues affecting the welfare of Australians.
What's been the outcome of the ASA's efforts?
It is noteworthy that the recommendations arrived at by the Productivity Commission in the main reflect the views put forward by the ASA. This is despite 65 submissions being received from other stakeholders that, with the exception of the Law Council, argued for continuation and strengthening of the present regime. Importantly, the ASA supports the need for an effective, timely and relevant anti-dumping system. However, the system needs to provide more transparency, have more understanding about the realities of business and how the market economy works, and most of all, take into consideration the national interest and downstream industries. On the issue of the wider consideration, the ASA views that the most affected by anti-dumping measures have little or no access to the system. It is the monopoly local producers of inputs for the steel, chemical, plastic and cement industries that have ready access to a costly, exhaustive process that serves as an incubator for market protection.
What are the key outcomes from an ASA member's perspective?
It is a comprehensive report, but notable points include that the Australian anti-dumping system, which is based on agreed WTO rules and procedures, benefits a small number of import competing firms, i.e. domestic steel producers, but imposes greater costs on the rest of the economy. Secondly, retention of the current system would be strengthened by measures to address a number of deficiencies, specifically that there's no consideration of the wider economic impacts of anti-dumping measures, that measures can be too easily become long-term protection, and additionally that the decision-making process and its outcomes are not sufficiently transparent. Introducing a bounded public interest test as a practical means of assessing the broader impacts of dumping actions is also recommended.
Where can ASA members find out more and what are the next steps?
The ASA website or contacting the ASA directly is probably the best way to find out more. As far as next steps, there's a lot more work to do. As it stands, the Productivity Commission's recommendations are in limbo. Nevertheless, it should be clearly recognised that this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to fundamentally change the way imported goods that are value added in Australia are treated. In the new year, the ASA's first priority is to engage in meaningful discussions with the Productivity Commission's interdepartmental committees. The Productivity Commission's recommendations, as advocated by the ASA, reflect the principles of fair and open trade and public benefit. Those principles support the promotion of competition and choice. Australia's national interest should be taken into consideration in every ministerial decision, and this will become even more relevant for ensuring the welfare of the total Australian community.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.